I'm covering Depp vs. Heard, pop culture, stories like that. This here is from Newsweek. You might be thinking, wait a minute, you're covering Newsweek a lot. Well, that's because Newsweek just keeps pumping out stories on Amber, mostly Amber's side, some kind of in the middle, and once in a blue moon something on Johnny's side. They actually mentioned Incredibly Average here. If you don't know Incredibly Average has been on this case for a long time. One of the pioneers, you could say, in getting out information about Amber that shows she isn't so truthful and she's done some things that aren't quite right. This is called Amber Heard Guessing Size of Her Yorkie Leaves Depp Fans in Hysterics. Not sure about that. And the reason is, this issue in isolation is not super important. It's one issue. When you combine it with other issues, shows Amber Heard is not always truthful, but this issue in itself has nothing to do with the actual defamation and abuse that's important. But let's see what they got. Footage of Amber Heard vastly overestimating the size of her pet dog is doing the rounds on social media in an unearthed video taken from a 2016 deposition. Johnny Depp fans have reacted and linked it to the feces accusations, which were leveled at Heard during the recent defamation trial. Heard and Depp divorced in 2016, but after Heard wrote an op-ed stating she was a survivor of domestic abuse, Depp sued her for defamation and ultimately won his suit. Okay, that's true. They also say Amber's legal team launched action against the decision, and this is from August 8th, 2022, so that's a recent statement they're making. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, let's take a little look at the clip, obviously from Incredibly Average.
Can you describe for us with your hands how big your dog is, Boo?
Boo is, she's a square.
Okay.
She's about this big.
Okay.
She's like a brick. She's a brick.
Let the record reflect. Can you describe approximately how many inches you are saying Boo is in length?
How big is this?
What kind of dog is she?
She is a Yorkie.
A Yorkie.
Okay, that's one question.
Can you describe how long she is?
She weighs? Okay, so she's probably this long.
Okay. Do you have an approximation? I only want you to tell what you believe the truth. Do you know how much she weighs?
She weighs.
Don't guess.
I don't know how much she weighs.
Okay.
But she's almost as wide as she is long. She's a brick. She's a cube.
A cube or a brick. Okay.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you could describe a dog as a cube or a brick. Sounds a little odd to me. Also, when she got asked that question, what kind of dog it was, she was like, a Yorkie. Like, her face lit up like, oh, I know the answer to one of these. I don't know, 8 inches? Something like that, probably. It's not my dog, but that's about the average size of a Yorkie. Maybe less, around there. You could answer, is all I'm saying. And it continues. Many online took enjoyment from the clip, while others linked it to the infamous story of Heard allegedly leaving human feces in Depp's bed. A lying liar who lies, said Twitter user LilyJane916, who continued, Amber in her 2016 Depo lying under oath about the size of her teacup Yorkie, her attempt to justify the human-sized poo emoji she tried to blame on her dog emoji. They also added, it's like you could see the wheels turning in her brain, calculating poo sizes as she widened her hands a bit more each time. Yeah, she was very thinking so hard. I mean, I don't have a pet right now, but if someone asked me, what's the size of your dog? Your cat, all right, about this, about that. Here's what I think. She's like, really has to think hard about it. When people defend Amber, how come they're not seeing that? It's an objective thing. It's not opinion. She's obviously having trouble with something really easy. She's having trouble describing a pet she was with on a daily basis pretty much at the time. As she begins to realize the SHIT needs to have come out of this dog, her hands move further and further apart to describe the size, wrote one Twitter user. And I mean, they're going to find out the size of the dog anyway. And also, it got some comments on Instagram and probably Facebook and all over the web. Obviously. And they end with this. The latest reemergence of testimony from 2016 comes after a recent unsealed documents previously hid from the recent defamation trial were released. The revelations from the evidence show that Heard refused millions in divorce settlement, raised questions over Depp's severed finger story, and featured private texts between Depp and Marilyn Manson, which had nothing to do with anything really. Newsweek has reached out to Depp and Heard's team for further comment, which they don't get, because they write like 6 articles a day, so who wants to talk to them? But also, I gotta say, there isn't too much spin and negativity on Johnny here. This is pretty much exposing something Amber is doing that, once again, looks a little bit fishy, little suspicious. So this brings us back full circle to Newsweek. Like I said, usually pro-Amber, and they usually sneak in pro-Amber things. However, once in a while, there's something that makes Amber look not so great like this one. I'm doing pop culture, Depp vs. Heard, celebrity news. Of course, check out Brian's channel, Incredibly Average. It's a great channel. He's got audio on there, all kind of stuff with great commentary. He's got some of the real deal stuff. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.